afternoon, ma'am.
Okay, before we start, let's have a prayer first. Let's bow down our head and feel the presence of the Lord. Lord, thank you for this wonderful day, oh God, that you've given to us, Lord. Thank you for the love, for the joy, for the peace, oh God. Lord, thank you for the knowledge and wisdom. Lord, enlighten us with your Holy Spirit, oh God, to understand all of our lesson, oh God. Bless my students as well as bless me, oh God. Use me as an instrument, oh God. Lord, thank you for being always there. Lord, salamat tayo sa tanan, Lord, kalimang tanan sa ngalan ni Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated.
Thank you, ma'am.
For the past few months we've gone through, we've learned the different types of literature in the Philippines. And now, let's have sum up of the changes of literature from ancient period down to contemporary period. And now let's have an activity first. Now choose your pair. Okay.
Kami, ma'am.
Okay. Now, your task is to give some examples of literatures that represents each period. From the ancient period, Spanish period, nationalistic or propaganda and revolutionary period, the American period, Japanese period, and the contemporary period. I will give you 2 minutes for that. Okay, are you done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, let me hear some of your examples from group 1.
Examples of ancient times. Fables. It is described as a didactic lesson given through some sort of animal story. Legend. Origin of plants, places, animals, things, and names.
Okay?
Another example of ancient times. Myth deals with a story about god and goddesses. Riddle, or battle of wits among participants.
Okay. How about the group 2? Give some of your examples.
Fantastic story deals with supernatural beings with supernatural forces. For example, aswang, manananggal, and iqbal.
They have also epics, is a kind of narrative.
Okay. All of your examples are literature belongs to ancient period, which these literatures are in oral form. It was handed through verbal by our ancestors generation to generation. The purpose of literature this time is to showcase, to promote, and to distinguish our own cultures, whether it is as a whole culture or vernacular cultures. And now, as you said that there's a literature which is called myth, which belongs to the folk tales, which deals with the gods and goddesses. It is an evidence that these times the Filipinos here believes in many gods, such like Sidapa, or the gods of farming, god of harvest. And now, let's go to the Spanish period. As the Spaniards came to colonize us in the year 1565 to 1598, they brought up some changes in the literature as well as to our culture. They brought up 3 factors: the language, the European literature, and as well as Christianity or religion. So, what are your examples in this period? Ma'am?
In Spanish literature, there's a religious literature, a sinaculo, a passion, tibag. A sinaculo is dramatized the passion. A passion, dramatization of the death of Jesus Christ. Tibag, it is a play that deals with searching the true cause of Jesus Christ.
Okay. How about you, Miss Gomez?
Secular literature not pertaining to religious beliefs or rituals. For example, the prose, liturgical verse, and folk song.
Okay, as you said, folk song. Folk songs here are untouched. Why untouched, Miss Gomez?
Folk song has been untouched because the Spaniards are not focused on the urban areas. They focus on Pueblo or the center of the Philippines. And the folk songs are made by the Indians and made in the urban areas.
Okay, very good. As you said, there are two types of literature here, the religious literature and the secular literature. Religious literature deals with the reenactments of the life and resurrection of Jesus Christ, and the secular literature, it deals with the non-religious literature. It deals with the proper decorum of a human, which is the prose. The mythical tales deals with the heroism of heroic deeds, just like Ibong Adarna, Florante, and Laura. And folk songs. Folk songs are untouched because the Spaniards came here is just focused on the pueblo of the Philippines, not in the urban areas. And as a while ago, as I said, they bring the three factors: European literature, language, and religion. European literature such as plays, moro-moro, awit, corrido, sinaculo, and tibag. And the language, the medium of instruction or communication this time is Spanish. We were united as one God. They bring religion here, or Christianity. For the first time in the Philippine history, we were united by praising one God, and which is, it also reflects and change our literature. They bring such as the religious literature, as we said a while ago, Miss Lila Cruz, the Sinaculo, Tibag, and Passion. And now, there are some evidences of changes that happens here in the Spanish times between the Asian period. The Asian period, that time they believe in gods and goddesses, right?
Yes,
But here in the Spanish period, we were united in praising one God. And also, the purpose of literature here is to show how Filipinos have creative. They show the literature for entertainment, and it showcased the simple life of Filipinos in the literature such as folk songs like Leron-Leron Sinta, Bahay Kubo, and many more. And now let's proceed to the nationalistic and revolutionary period. There are two types of literature here in this period. Let us see what are the changes that happens here. Now let me hear the literature of protest. Ms. Ombalino?
The two types of nationalistic, revolutionary, the political novels and political essay, such as El Filibusterismo, No Limitangeri, and Jaryong Tagalog.
Okay, how about revolutionary literature?
Revolutionary literature, a direct attack on the Spanish government. The political essay, the example is Kalayaan, newspaper of the society.
Okay. All of your examples are types of literature in the nationalistic and revolutionary period. Two types of literature, the literature protest and the revolutionary literature. The literature in these times are written Spanish and Tagalog, and it deals by expressing, the writers here, they express themselves not just for the Filipinos but as a Filipino one. And it is very clear here that it shows the love of country, or they planted seed of nationalism here. And now, the purpose of literature here is to express the feelings, thoughts regarding to the cruelty of the Spaniards through written literature such as the El Filibusterismo, the Kalayaan, written by by Emilio Jacinto, and also the El Filibusterismo and the No Limitangeri, written by Jose Rizal. Now, let's move on in the American period. As new set of colonizers colonize us, they also bring new knowledge and new changes in literature. So give some examples of literature in the American period. Miss Ambalino?
For example, lead star, the K, and reverse.
Okay. You said the Death Star, the Key, and the Free are such part of the short stories or types of short stories. Some of the short stories, the Death Stars and the Key. And as the news that the colonizers brought about their changes, they also bring free verse, modern short stories, and the communication this time was shifted from Spanish to English, and the writers from these times follow the Balagtas tradition. The poetry was being modernized by making modern short stories. Alejandro G. Abadella is a modern writer who influenced young poets to write modern short stories in these times. And also, the poems here was written by the amateurs in an awkward manner, and the Filipino writers imitated the Americans, imitated the English, and specifically the American models. And now, as you can see that there are changes that, like in the nationalistic, they just are trying to express themselves, as well as in the American times, they were being modernized. And as we go on the Japanese period, the Tagalog poets broke away from the Balagtas tradition. Let's go back on the American period. They follow the Balagtas tradition. And now, here in the Japanese period, they broke away from the Balagtas tradition, but instead wrote in simple language and free verse. Fictions here prevailed over poetry. As you can see, as we go back from American nationalistic and revolutionary period, there are some poetries. Unlike here, fictions prevailed over poetry. And the fictions is on the top. And also, the writers by this time mastered English and familiarized themselves with diverse techniques. Unlike in the American period, they were awkward. Their writings were amateurs, and by these times, they were familiarized, mastered the English. And there are types of literature such as poems, which there are two types, like, who can give an example for the two types of poems in this time? How about you, Ms. Gomez?
One of the examples of poems are haiku. Haiku is traditionally a Japanese poem consisting of 3 short lines that do not rhyme.
Okay. Haiku. How about Tanaga?
Tanaga also consists of 4 lines in 7 syllables, each with the same rhyme at the end of each line.
Okay. And now, let's see some changes in this time. As you've learned that in this nationalistic and revolutionary period, they used their writings, such like El Filibusterismo, No Limitang Hiri, to express their thoughts, to expose the cruelty doings of the Spaniards. But right here, there is no freedom. Thus, the only source of contact outside was the radio program, The Voice of Freedom, in which people can express themselves, not like in the nationalistic, through written by the Jose Rizal, like El Filibusterismo and so on. And all the newspapers in English were stopped by the Japanese, except from the Free Philippine. In the contemporary period, the freedom of press here were curtailed by the martial law. As we all know that there are no freedom of speech in this time, and theater used as vehicle to protest. Not unlike in the past periods, they have the power through writings to expose the cruelty doings of the Spanish, like el filibusterismo by Jose Rizal, and also they use allegory. Allegory is a story in which the characters and events are symbols that stand for the ideas about human life and political situation. And the literature is continue to write poetry, short stories, essays, and the Commission on Higher Education in all tertiary schools in the Philippines, the teaching of the vernacular literature or the literature in every region were emphasized. And also, the influence of literature is inferred by the impact of modern technology through internet, e-book, Wattpad, and for the sum up, that from the ancient to the contemporary world, we can see or learn that there are many changes from time to time. And now, I want to hear from you, what is the purpose of literature?
The purpose of literature are enlightenment, entertainment, and instruction.
Okay, very good, very well said. The purpose of literature is for entertainment, such as folk songs from the ancient times, folk songs, riddles, fables. Enlightenment. We were being enlightened by the heroic deeds, the belief of gods and goddesses. Instruction. We were able to instruct by the wings of our heroes, their gems, or their writings such as El Filibusterismo, considered as gems, which is really admires as of now. Am I right that we really admire their writings from time to time? And now, I will give you a few minutes to write the reflection if, as you learn literature, what are characteristics of a Filipinos have you seen or learned about learning the literature? Okay, are you done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I will call you one by one. I want to hear your reflection, Miss Alin Sonoril.
My reflection is Philippine literature as a Filipino written in a book in the English and Hispanic languages. Philippine literature is written in English, Tagalog, and other native Philippine.
Okay, let me hear your reflection, Miss Gomez.
In studying the Philippine literature, I've seen that Filipinos possess a good characteristic. It shows how Filipinos are being brave, strong, not coward. They are showing that they have their own principle and they can fight our country through writing, just like Dr. Jose Rizal. Filipinos are resilient no matter how big or difficult the problem is.
Okay, Miss Omalino.
My reflection, belief and practice of the Filipino during ancient time have our forefathers have already their own culture, beliefs, tradition, customs. Through studying Philippine literature, I learned that the people there, like Dr. Jose Rizal, Andres Bonifacio, and many more, are brave and strong because they write against the Spaniards in order to get or to achieve our freedom.
Okay, Miss De La Cruz.
Filipinos during ancient time had their own culture and beliefs. They believed in Valhalla, witchcraft, shaman, and many more that brought to us by neighboring countries like Indonesia, Malaysia, China, and etc. That until now, some of the Filipinos are still conscious.
Okay. For the end of this course, I want you to know that The main purpose of literature is it serves as a vessel. It serves as a vessel in order for us to know the past. History is literature. Literature is history. The knowledge itself is more important as we know it. As a Filipino, not just as other Westernians. And also, as we studied Philippine literature, we see the characteristics of a Filipino. Filipinos are like chameleon. We can easily adapt even if how many colonizers colonized us. We still have courage to stand up. We have persevere. We have perseverance no matter how hard life it is. Like in the grandeur of God by Marcelo H. Del Pilar, that it writes there that it deals with how hard Filipinos' life in the times of the Spanish period. They still have the reason to be glad. They still have the reason to be happy, to be more courageous, to be more persevere in order for us to become a better person no matter how hard the Spaniards doing to us. And that will be all for this day, and thank you.